In this video, our learning goal is to be able to calculate the area of 2D shapes and apply them to finding the area of composite shapes. So you'll remember from year 8, you have some formulae already, such as area of a rectangle is length times width, or a triangle is base times height divided by 2. There's other plus other formulas. It's the expectation that you know these formulas. So we need to find the area of 2D shapes and apply them to a composite shape. So I ask you, what do you think is meant by a composite shape? Well, a composite shape is simply a shape made up of other shapes. So we could have something like this. You could have a running track, or let's not go with the running track. Let's have a rectangle, excuse me, and a semicircle on top. You could have some triangles. You could have a shape like this, a trapezium. Let's put another shape on top. So we're going to do 2 examples with this in this video. Example number 1. We need to find the area of this shape. Now, for every single question, you must show right formula. You must substitute. And you need to write an answer. And don't forget your units. Now, I would do these and I would separate it into 2 separate areas. So I've got area 1, which is a square, and I've got area 2, which is a triangle. So let's do the area of the square. And always write down this is the area of the square. Have a way of labelling. Formula for a square is s squared. S represents my side length. 8 squared is 64 centimetres squared. Let's look at the area of the triangle. And this notation I'm using is perfectly acceptable, but there's lots of other acceptables. Now this is the formula I use for a triangle. Some people use this one. Both are correct. B is the base. This is the base, and in this case it's 8 because it's the same length as that square. The H is my perpendicular height, which on here is this distance here, which is 3 centimetres. And I divide it by 2. So I do 24 divided by 2 is 12 centimetres. People who make mistakes in area tend to make careless errors. So then to find the total area, we simply do the area of the square plus the area of the triangle. And it's really important that you explain what you're finding with this step. So I've got 64 plus 12 gives me 76 centimetres squared. And that is my answer. If you've got a practical question, make sure it makes sense. Let's look at the second example. So I've got this one here, and this time I haven't divided it up for you. It's still simple, but what makes this harder is that when we divide it, I've got a trapezium. So my first area I'm going to find is the trapezium. And the second one is I've got a rectangle. So, area of the trapezium. Now some people divide it up into a trapezium, into a rectangle and 2 triangles. But it's actually easy to remember. So, a quick technical glitch. I'm hoping I'm restarting this properly. Area of a trapezium is a formula you need to know. So I've got H times A plus B, then my parallel sides divided by 2. So my height here, let's just make this pen a bit thicker. I've got this bit is 3. The whole bit is 10, so that must be 7. Now this is done intentionally. Never trust diagrams and think things are to scale. So my height is 7. A and B are the parallel sides. So I've got 8 and this distance there is 5. So 5 plus 8 divided by 2. 7 times 13 divided by 2. And let's work that out. It's 45 and a half metres squared. Then I work out, I'll do it over here, the area of the rectangle, and they're easy to find, length times width, and although it's easy, you still need to write that formula down. If you don't, you'll make careless errors, and then you run the risk of losing marks. And you will lose marks in senior school if you don't write formulas. So my total area, and you may use the abbreviation TA, is area of the trapezium plus the area of the rectangle. So I've got 45 and a half plus 15, that gives me 60.5 metres squared. So if we want to look at the success criteria of this question, okay, so if we look at this one here, this is a D level. And a D level means you can recall. So if you can't even remember the formulae, you need to go home and remember formulae. This is what we expect you to be able to do. If you can remember formulae and use it, like this video, that's your C level. A and B would be working backwards. And we'll do some examples like that in class with you.